Good morning, everybody, and welcome to your Monday morning kickstart. I hope you guys all had a fantastic weekend, and let's get this week off to a flying start. So first off, news of the week, we've got some new students joining us today. Welcome, if you're listening to this. Guys, you get the Monday Morning Kickstart podcast included and as part of your course every single Monday. I send these out. So check your emails on Mondays for your podcast. Following on from that, another bit of news this week. I have been recording myself doing some new mock exams, some new readings, use of English, listening tasks. Again, just to help you really see not just the technique that you guys have been practicing and learning, but the kind of thought process that's going on in my head when I'm doing tasks. What am I analyzing? What am I thinking about when I do these tasks? So if you're struggling with a particular part of the exam, I will be putting these on your study plans again, just to give you that extra help, extra support, extra feedback. So look out for those on your study plans over the next few weeks. And speaking of study plans, today I wanted to talk to you about something that can honestly change your whole experience with this exam. It's a thing that makes the biggest difference to your progress, and funnily enough, most students, not everyone, but most students avoid doing this thing without even realizing that they're avoiding it. And we're talking about working on your weaknesses, not running away from them if we know that writing is something that is our weakness, not avoiding doing that task. So today I wanted to talk to you a little bit on working on your weaknesses and actually understanding what is going wrong at the root and fixing that specific thing. So I'm going to tell you a little story to help with this today. And this is the story of the archer. So the archer is someone who has a bow and arrow, who's firing arrows at targets or people. This is what an archer is, okay? So once upon a time, there was a young archer, and she dreamed, I'm gonna make my archer a woman here. I guess back in the days when there was archers and kings and things, it'd probably be a guy, but I'm making it a woman in my story. So here we go. She dreamed of joining the king's guard. King's guard are the soldiers who protect the king. So she dreamed of joining the king's guard, which was the highest honor that you could have as an archer in her village. So every morning she woke up at dawn, she picked up her bow and she practiced for hours. She fired arrow after arrow after arrow at the target. She was motivated, she was passionate, she was working harder than anyone else out there, working harder than any of the archers who were already part of the king's guard, working harder than any of the other guys that were trying to get a spot on the king's guard. But no matter how much she practiced, the arrows kept flying slightly to the left. Some days, she got close to the center. Some days she was completely off, missed completely, hit the tree a meter to the side. But she always believed that the key to improving, the key to getting better was the same. She always believed that if she practiced more, if she shot more arrows, if she pushed harder, if she stayed motivated, that she would eventually get better. So she kept on practicing this for months and months, but these arrows just kept on flying to the left. She even tried stepping one step to the right to compensate. I do this when I go bowling. I have the same problem. The ball always goes to the left, and I try changing my position. Doesn't work. So one morning, the master archer, so the head of the king's guard, the teacher of all the archers, he'd seen or heard about how much this girl had been practicing. So he came to watch her early one morning. And he stood quietly behind her, didn't say anything, and just observed. And the girl began as usual, firing arrow after arrow after arrow, and always hitting the arrow slightly to the left. And after a while, he walked over and he picked up one of the arrows and he rolled it gently across a flat stone. And that is when she saw it. The arrows that she'd been practicing with for months and months and months, the arrow was not straight. It had the tiniest little bend near the tip of the arrow, which was invisible when you grab it quickly from your quiver. Your quiver is the bag that you store arrows in. When she grabbed it quickly from her quiver, from over her head, this was something that you could easily miss. But it was incredibly obvious when someone slowed down long enough to check it. And suddenly, everything made sense. The problem was not her aim. The problem was not her strength. It was not her motivation or her discipline. Certainly not. That was incredibly high. It was the arrow. So that Master Archer looked at her and said, "You're working hard, but you're firing bent arrows. Fix the arrow and you will hit the center." And that's exactly what she did. She changed her arrows and she was then able to improve and hit the center and eventually get into the king's guard. And honestly, this is exactly what I see in Cambridge Advanced students every single week. So when something is not working, if we're finding, for example, that we're finding the listening part of the exam difficult, for example, could be reading, could be use of English, could be writing, speaking, whatever the thing is for you. But if you're finding something difficult in the exam, when something's not working, often their instinct, or what schools in the past have told us, what language academies have told us before, our instinct is to just keep firing more arrows. In this case, so doing more practice exercises, doing more mock tests, doing more listenings, more practice papers, more everything. But if the arrow is bent, no amount of shooting is going to help you hit the target. You will just get better at repeating the same mistake. So in this course, I don't want you firing bent arrows. This is why everything we do is personalized to you, and everything we do is designed to work on your weaknesses. That's why I always ask you guys to analyze your mistakes and analyze your mock tests. And that is why we tailor the study plans to your needs. And it is exactly why we do not book our exams until we're consistently scoring over 70% in at least 3 mock exams, our golden rule. And I want to talk to you for a second about that second thing that I just said there, the golden rules, because it's really important. Please, I say this all the time, but please, please, please do not book your exam without talking to me first. I know you might feel really excited, or you're just like fed up. You just want to get it over and done with. But this rule exists to protect you. Everyone who's followed this rule has passed their exam. Because if you're not hitting those scores yet, if you're not regularly getting over 70% in your mock exams in each part, it doesn't mean that you're bad at English. Not at all. It simply means that that arrow is still a little bit bent and we need to straighten it before you walk into the exam. Remember, we typically do a little bit worse on exam day because of the stress and the pressure than we do when we're sitting calmly in our house doing exams, okay? That's why we have that rule in place. I'm not trying to hold you back. I'm not trying to make you stay on the course for longer. I'm trying to make sure that when you sit the exam that you feel prepared, calm, confident, and that you're genuinely capable of getting the certificate you need and getting a great score in that, even getting an A, getting up to that C2 level score. And if you book it without following the process, I'm not saying that you will definitely fail, but I cannot confidently say that you will pass either. And I want you to pass. I want you to feel proud about the result. You guys are, and I always say this, you guys are part of the family now. I want to give you the same attention as I would a member of my family. I love that you guys still message me 1 or 2 years after you passed your exam and let me know how you're getting on in your life. In fact, I was speaking to Zore yesterday. She just messaged me and told me it's been exactly 1 year since she passed her exam, and she was telling me about her life now and kind of what she's doing. She's become an English teacher now, and I absolutely love that. So it's just something that these golden rules I put in place for you to help you guys. So please, please, please make sure that you speak to me before you book your exam. But let's go back to those weaknesses for a moment, because I think that's where a lot of people get stuck, is working out where the bend in the arrow is, working out what is causing the issue for you. It could be, for example, let's take listening again as an example. If you're struggling with the listening exam, if you just say, Cheryl, listening's hard, this is not giving us enough information to see where the bend in the arrow is. We need to know which part of the listening. Is it part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4? Or is it all of them? Because there's so many different reasons that you might be struggling. It could be vocabulary. Maybe the topic of that listening is unfamiliar with you. So maybe it's actually that we need to work on your vocabulary. Could be distractors. It could be that you can understand everything, but you're getting tricked by the exam task. Could be in just one part of the exam, could be in all of it. It could be that your reading speed is not fast enough, that you don't have time to read all the questions before the listening track starts, and then that's causing you problems. In that case, it's not your listening skills at all. It's our ability to read and recognize keywords faster. Could be multitasking. It could be that you can understand everything when you're just listening to a tape script, but when you try and listen and answer questions at the same time, that's what you're finding difficult. Could be that our vocabulary is passive, not active. That we know the vocabulary when we read it, but when someone's speaking quickly, and if we're still trying in our head to either translate a word or remember what it means, then we struggle, we lose track of the listening, because we've spent a few seconds trying to figure out what a word means, and now the person is 2 sentences further down in the audio, and we've lost the train of the conversation. We've lost the thread of the conversation. So this could be a problem. Could be pronunciation and connected speech, that when native speakers join all the words together, that it is causing issues. No? So as you can see, if listening is our problem, there are many, many things that could be causing the issue, and they require completely different solutions. This is why just doing more listening tasks or reading or use of English or whatever it is will not magically fix anything. If you don't understand the root issue, we're just going to repeat the same pattern, the same problem over and over and over again. And that's why I always say that this course is different. There's no other school that I know of that does this level of analysis with you. Most schools will just tell you, just do more practice tests. But they skip that analysis part, and this is the most important part. No one else, as far as I know, is looking at your exact errors, breaks down the reason behind them, and then designs a plan based on that. So this is why we get the results that we have. It's not magic, it's not luck. It's that you guys put in the work, you do that analysis, and we refuse to let you fire bent arrows. So this is your goal for this week, okay? Your task for this week. So when you're filling in your check-in forms, okay? So it might not be this week, it might be in a few weeks' time or in 6 weeks' time even, when your next check-in form is due, okay? I want you to really think about what is causing you the issues when you do your mock exam, okay? But this analysis is something that you should be doing every time you do a task, is thinking about what went wrong, why, do I understand why I got that question wrong, and so then how can we fix it? And if you don't understand why you got something wrong, okay, if you're doing a listening task, if it's listening part 4 and you don't understand why you got question 27 wrong, you've looked at the tape script, you've listened to it several times, you still don't see why you got that wrong, that's when you go to the Telegram group and you ask me, why did I get that wrong? So that I can show you what the issue is, so that we can fix that for next time, so that we don't keep doing listening part 4s and firing bent arrows without knowing the why, okay? You always need to analyze. 9 times out of 10, you're going to know. You're going to see like, I got that use of English wrong because I didn't know, I forgot to use the passive. And they'll be like, okay, maybe we need to go and work on the passive, okay? Or, I got that listening wrong because I didn't know that phrasal verb, and that's new vocabulary for me, so I missed a key point. Okay, that's something we need to go work on, is the vocabulary in that topic, okay? Most of the time, you'll be able to know yourself what the issue is, and you'll be able to tell me that when you do your check-in form. But if you can't see it, ask, so that we can fix that for you, okay? It's the most important thing. So I've seen a few times lately check-in forms coming back with one-word answers. Like, why did I get that task wrong? Vocabulary. Okay? Fantastic that we know it's vocabulary, but it doesn't tell me how I can help you. So it's like the archer handing the master a bent arrow and saying, fix it, without showing them where the bend is, okay? I cannot help you as much as I want to if I don't know what part of grammar or what section of vocabulary or which task went wrong, okay? So when you make a mistake, ask yourself what exactly happened, what the source of the problem is, what the root of the problem is. If you don't know, ask me in the Telegram group. That's what I'm here for. That's what makes this program different from any other program in the world. That you don't have to guess. You just have to be curious, analytical, and willing to take that extra time to look, okay? So I want you to be like the master archer. That before you fire the next arrow, slow down, look at it, find the tiny bend, find the thing that's making you miss the center, and let's fix that together. Give me the detail. Tell me exactly what is going wrong. Tell me what part of the task is confusing for you. Tell me what part of the exam feels messy or unclear. Give me as much information as possible. The more detail you give me, the easier it is to help me, the easier it is for me to help you get better. And the faster I can help you improve and get better. Because you deserve to feel confident in this language. You deserve to pass this exam without stress and frustration. And you absolutely have the ability to do it. You would not be allowed to join this course if I didn't think that you could do this. So we just need to straighten some of the arrows first. Okay? And that is our Monday morning kickstart. Fix the arrow and the target becomes much easier to hit. And that is what I am here to help you with, guys. So have a brilliant week and we will talk soon. I hope you enjoyed this Monday morning kickstart. Let me know in the Telegram group if there's anything you want to chat about more from this episode.